What is going on, everyone? Dominic Dominator with the Veterans Den channel, bringing you a video about the fires in Los Angeles and all this stuff that could have happened to prevent such a big travesty, such a big damage, the loss of lives. I'm not saying it could have prevented. That's not what I'm trying to say in this video, but definitely it could have minimized a lot of hazards and dangers and deaths and all the stuff that's going on right now. So my background, I'm personally from Los Angeles, born and raised. I did bounce around with my dad and my parents, because I was a military brat. So bounced around there, but then came back to Los Angeles and finished out middle school and high school and graduated, then joined the military. So I have a lot of family in Los Angeles. I moved out to Arizona back in 2018. As of last night, I have had two family members get evacuated. I convinced another family member to evacuate, even though they didn't have to. They were in an area that was asking for people to evacuate. They're in a red zone, and I have one friend who's had their house burned down. So this video is going to be about all the stuff that could have prevented and a lot of things, or like I said, helped this situation and maybe reduce what we're dealing with. So let's just get right into it. So do apologize in advance. I'm going to be looking at my notes because I'm not good at memorizing everything like a lot of other YouTube channels do. And my production team, which consists of me, myself, and I, hasn't bought a teleprompter to make it easier to look at the camera and read. So be looking at my notes a lot. But as of right now, and right when I was coming on to do this video, there is a new fire in Calabasas that is starting, and it's moving pretty swiftly and eating up the whole canyon in Calabasas. I'm going to go over the fires that I had listed before I literally just came on to record this. So the fires that are going on, there's over 30,000 acres burned. The biggest of these is going to be the Pacific Palisades fire, which is over 17,000, approximately 75% of Pacific Palisades is burned down. The other fires are the Sunset, Lydia, Hearst, and Eaton fire. And like I said, just before I started recording this, the new fire started in Calabasas. Um, Nothing too, they're not reporting that I'm hearing from my family. There is like a lot of little tiny fires, like 1 acre, 2 acres here, 3 acres there, half an acre here, like just, and it's just due to the winds that's carrying all these embers all over the place and just spreading it across the land. Supposedly, what's going on right now is that they're just completely stretched in. So, as far as support, Arizona, Oregon, Washington, Utah, and New Mexico have sent firefighters to come and help, along with rigs. People from Northern California, or firefighters, I should say, from Northern California, has come down to also help. Navajo Nation has also sent out its Navajo scouts to assist in firefighting. These are the fire jumpers and also brake line people, and they're firefighters too. They also send a firefighter team out there, I believe. But for sure, Navajo scouts are out there. So a lot of people are questioning what's going on, why stuff isn't working right, why isn't there enough manpower, why isn't there enough water in the system to put out the fires, why are the fire hydrants running out. So the biggest question is, could this have been minimized, or some stuff be completely avoided happening? So bear with me. I'm going to go through a timeline from the oldest to recent, which the oldest is going to be 2014. So we're going to start all the way back to 2014 to recent, leading up to all of the stuff that could happen. And there's a lot more out there. Most of the stuff I verified that this happened, or was in the books, had funding, or was said, or was supposed to be done. One thing I could not find a definite yes or no or whatever, and that's going to be about the Delta smelt fish. So I'll get more into that, in a little bit. But let's go back as far as 2014. So I'm going to read my notes. In 2014, California approved Proposition 1, known as the Water Quality Supply and Infrastructure Improvement Act of 2014. $2.7 billion was dedicated to the water storages to hold water that could have been used right now as of 2024, or let me back up, that could have been used right now to store water for any droughts, farming, or firefighting. As of 2024, these storages have not been built due to them sitting in planning status and waiting on permits. So this was voted in 10 years ago, and nothing's been done. So it's just sitting, nothing's been built. It's all paperwork right now. And could we have used it? Yeah, we could use some storage of water right now, especially due to the fire hydrants running out. People say it's because of there's no pressure because we're just using too much water. Some say they just completely ran out of their reservoir where they're pulling the water. Take it how you want, but stored water is better than no water. In 2019, when Gavin Newsom took office, he signed an executive order N519, which was signed on January 8th, 2019. This would overhaul the wildfire prevention strategies. 90 acres were supposed to have brush removal, controlled burns, and other implemented wildfire prevention. As of today, only 12 acres have been done or had these strategies implemented. This program or executive order stopped after those 12 acres and have not, I guess, picked up and started again and continued. So, once again, could have probably prevented a lot of what we're dealing with right now. Right now, the Los Angeles Fire Department are facing a shortage of firefighters. But back in 2021, around 130 firefighters were terminated without pay for not taking the COVID-19 shot. The LA Fire Department is currently facing a shortage of firefighters, which is much needed right now with all these fires going on, and has even requested help and support from other states to come down and help us. They even have their operations center has a hotline that you can call to see if you can come in and help us, or if you or help them if you're off duty or maybe you just recently retired. So they do have a hotline just basically requesting for help. In 2022, Kristen Crowley was named the LA Fire Department fire chief. When she came into office, she said her mission was to make the firefighting department more diverse and focus more on training on DI rather than your normal stuff that firefighters should be training, even putting out videos like this about it.
You want to see somebody that responds to your house, your emergency, whether it's a medical call or a fire call, that looks like you. It gives that person a little bit more ease, knowing that somebody might understand their situation better. Is she strong enough to do this? Or you couldn't carry my husband out of a fire, which my response is he got himself in the wrong place if I have to carry him out of a fire.
As for me, I don't care what your background is. If you're a firefighter, you should be able to do your job, no matter who you are or whatever. So I don't care what your background is, your sexual orientation. If I need your help, if my family needs your help, if my house is on fire, all I care about is if you can do the job. I'm not caring like, oh, does this person look like me? Does this person have the same values as me? Oh, well, you don't have the same values as me or don't think like me or am me. Then I don't want you to save my family. I don't want you to save my house. Makes no sense. The biggest thing I would say is that being a firefighter is very physical. As long as you can do the job physically, whether you're a man or a woman, or you believe this, you believe that, or your sexual orientation this, as long as you can physically do the job, that's all that should matter. And then have the right training and continue this training to sharpen your skills. You know, always sharpen the blade, is like we used to say in the military. Always continue training to become better. In 2022, Gavin Newsom sent firefighting equipment to Ukraine, as well as equipment that was meant for the California National Guard. This is his way of supporting the efforts into Ukraine and all that other stuff. And as of yesterday, the National Guard, I believe yesterday or day before, so January 8th or the 7th, the National Guard was activated for California. So firefighters need equipment, National Guard need their equipment, but all our equipment got sent to Ukraine. Once again, we're worrying about other countries, helping other countries, and we're not worrying about our own people here, as all of Southern California is basically burnt, or I should say all of LA County and around LA County is burning, when we could have utilized all that equipment one way or another. So now I'm going to talk about the famous Delta smelt fish that you may be seeing on, X and other social media outlets. Back in December of 2023, Gavin Newsom made initiatives to save the Delta smelt fish from going extinct. Allegedly, these initiatives stopped fresh water from going to Southern California to reservoirs that could have been used to help these fires, and diverting the water into the ocean. Now, as of today, the fish is environmentally extinct, meaning it's extinct in the wild, or is about to be extinct in the wild. US or UC Davis does have a breeding program for these fishes, so they're doing their part to make sure this fish doesn't go extinct. Is it's going to go extinct in the wild, but then they're going to try to make a lot of fishes. at UC Davis to hopefully reintroduce into the wild to try to repopulate. I found, like I said, I found information on both sides saying this is true, this is true, the other side's wrong, the other side's wrong. So if you guys in the comments below have any like super solid information about this, but supposedly Gavin Newsom diverted water from going south down to reservoirs, down to the farms, down to fire hydrants, whatever, and diverting that water into the ocean because the Delta smeltfish needs brackish water where the ocean or seawater and freshwater meet, and that's the only way they can survive. So, like I said, that's the information I'm presenting to you. I haven't found a solid one side or the other, so I'm just going to present the information. This is allegedly what happens. If you guys have, solid information, links, and all of that, please put it in the comments below because I would like to read it to make something more solid on that case. On June 5th, 2024, Karen Bass cut $17.6 million from the fire department's budget to the 24-25 fiscal year. On her return from her trip from Africa and Ghana to see a presidential election or inauguration or something like that, on her return, she was asked directly why she did this, if she regrets it or what, and she just stayed silent, didn't say nothing. This would have probably been the best time for her to say, "Hey, I'm back, boots on the ground, let's do this. We're going to look into it. I messed up," something. Instead, she stays silent.
Do you owe citizens an apology for being absent while their homes were burning? Do you regret cutting the fire department budget by millions of dollars, Madam Mayor? Have you nothing to say today? Have you absolutely nothing to say to the citizens today?
During this past election, November 5th, 2024, Californians voted on Proposition 4. This would allow $10 billion to be utilized for several projects. $3 billion of that money was going to be utilized for wildfire prevention and helping vulnerable communities that are in hot zones or fire zones. I don't know how quick the money gets utilized after its votes in California. I can't remember how it works or if it changed, but I imagine if they voted on it, then that means this money should be readily available or stuff should at least start being implemented because this is what the people wanted and it's what they voted on. On November 6, 2024, the Ventura fire broke out, or the mountain fire broke out, burning down 19,904 acres. There was an actual news coverage going on during the firefighting efforts for this fire, which they brought to light that they were running out of water because of the fire hydrants. Many people speculate it's because there was no pressure, there's no water to be refilled in reservoirs or how they store the water. Same thing again, if you have like solid, links and all that other stuff, please share it down below. I'd love to see it. But there was an actual news coverage saying, hey, these firefighters have no water. So this was actually brought to light back in November of this past 2024.
But what firefighters are trying to do is keep those embers from, obviously, they can travel up to even 2 miles, keep them from starting new fires. The problem, they're out of water. So this is Ventura County Fire Station, and the fire hydrant is dry. And the problem is, it's not just dry here, it's dry on the whole water grid. So this whole area of Camarillo is basically out of water. So one house usually would have about 30 firefighters working on it. If one house is on fire, there's 3 of them here. And I just walked by them a minute ago and they looked so defeated. I said, "Are you guys okay?" And they said, "We're out of water."
On December 4th, 2024, Christine Crowley, the fire chief for the Los Angeles Fire Department, sent a letter to the Fire Commission stating that because of the budget cuts that Karen Bass did, they cannot adequately do their job. And if something major were to happen, they would not be able to do their job properly, unable to fight fires, wildfires, and all of that, and sent this letter out to the Fire Commission, which is a public document that other people can see. So I'm pretty sure Karen Bass did see this, and instead of allocating money directly or immediately, saying, "Hey, we gotta, at least give them something," maybe not 17.6 million, but at least $1 million or something. But she did bring up to the attention of everybody that, hey, we can't do our job because we are underfunded. So lastly, back in December 24th, 2024, the fire department came out and said they were unable to test their fire hydrant system and temporarily suspending their testing due to lack of funding, and they would rather put that money elsewhere instead of testing the fire hydrants. Had they had the funding or had they been able to test the fire hydrants, they probably would have brought to light that we have a serious problem with our fire hydrants and it's not working. Pressure's low, or there's not enough water, whatever the issue is with these fire hydrants. It's all over the place and up in the air. But there is, for a fact, an issue with water coming out of the fire hydrants, or lack of water. Had they done this, they could at least had an executive order, ask for funding, could talk to the governor, talk to federal level, maybe have something temporarily in place to help in case something happened, strategy and prepare, and then work on the fire hydrants, or directly just start working on the fire hydrants and getting them fixed. But since 2014, and as of 3.5 weeks ago, stuff could have been done and implemented to help prevent a lot of what's going on and save lives. And it's just sad because the powers that be in the leadership, I think, failed Los Angeles, and they should be held accountable. So here's my opinion. Kristen Crowley failed Los Angeles due to the fact that she came in wanting, go hard charger for her agenda, creating a DEI department within the department to help teach firefighters to be more diverse and inclusive and all of that other stuff, and even make commercials stating all this and media stuff. It was more important about her DEI agenda rather than training firefighters, getting them the equipment, and focus on recruiting. Being said that, I do believe everybody should be respectful for one another. Everybody should care about one another and do your job, not focus on DI and all that other stuff, but be respectful and do your job. If you can do your job, do your job. That should be what's important, not worrying about how we're going to fund all this other DI stuff and then not have the ability to put fires out and not focus on recruiting. Karen Bass also failed Los Angeles due to the fact, same thing. She had an agenda. She went in, wanted to implement it, and she cut the fire budget by $17.6 million. So because of that, it hindered the fire department from doing their job, even as recent as within the last couple of years or last year. Instead, she wanted to fund gay choirs, trans cafes, and social justice art rather than the fire department. That has nothing to do with keeping people safe, and none of that helped what's going on right now. As far as the California government failed its people in Los Angeles due to the fact that everybody keeps voting for this funding and money to help prevent wildfires and fix things and have all this funding. Literally, you have money sitting for 10 years now that was supposed to go towards wildfire prevention and saving communities, and that money is not being implemented or used, and it's sitting in the planning and permit stage when they should be utilizing that money. And there should be something where if this money is not utilized right away, then we figure out how to utilize it in other ways for the purpose of wildfire or for the purpose of clean air or whatever. If we allocate this money to go towards firefighting and we can't do specifically what we want after a certain amount of period, then how else can we use this money to help with firefighting? That's my opinion. I'm not a politician. I could be wrong. But either way, you have this money sitting somewhere on a back burner. They're just sitting there. Who even knows if it's there right now? They could have been laundried and used in other projects or whatever. But the government has voted on, or had their people vote on, all these measures and propositions and whatnot, and they're not being done. As far as Gavin Newsom, he did his executive orders to do 90,000 acres were going to be cleared, fire burn, whatever, wildfire prevention. Only did 12,000, never pushed it again, stopped. This guy constantly just goes out for photo ops and doesn't do anything. This guy diverts water into the ocean when this fresh water could be utilized, stored, and saved. Doesn't do it. He implements all this other stuff for other things that he says helps California, but when California needs the actual help, such as putting out these fires, he has no answers or nothing. And even as recent as him talking to this lady yesterday, or I even think the day before, he's told that, oh, I'm talking to the president. And they said, well, let me see. Oh, well, I can't get through it. So which one is it? Are you talking to the president right now, or are you not talking? Watch this video.
That was my daughter's school, Governor. Please tell me what you're going to do. I'm not going to hurt him, I promise.
I'm literally talking to the president right now. To specifically answer the question of what we can do for you and your daughter.
Can I hear it? Can I hear your call? Because I don't believe it.
I'm sorry. There's literally, I've tried 5 times. That's why I'm walking around to make the
Why
call.
is the president not taking your call?
Because Because it's not going through. So
Why?
I have to get cell service.
So let's
There's no
get it.
cell service.
Let's get it. I want to be here when you call the president.
I appreciate it. I'm doing that right now. And it's to immediately get reimbursements, individual assistance, and to help you. I'm devastated for you. I'm so sorry, especially for your daughter. I have 4 kids. Losing
Everyone who went to school there, they lost their home. They lost 2 homes because they were living in one building another. Governor, please tell me, what are you going to do with the president right now?
We're getting the resources to help rebuild.
Why was there no water in the hydrants, Governor?
That's all literally.
Is it going to be different next time?
It has to be.
So there you go. Gavin Newsom lying to its own Californians. It's just sick and despicable that he did that. He probably wasn't ready for that lady to call him out and say, "Hey, show the receipts, show the proof." And he's like, I keep getting sent to voicemail. So I don't think he was actually talking to Biden, whatever. But before I say what I'm about to say, I want to say that it's tragic and bad and sad that everything that's going on out there. I pray for all the people out there. Like I said, I have family members that got evacuated, have a friend that got their house burnt down, and I have family members in LA. I come from LA, so a lot of what I'm seeing, it's not like me watching news coverage in another of something else in the other state, and I'm just looking like, oh, that's sad. I wonder where that's at or what's going on there. When I look at the news coverage, and I literally been watching the live feed and everything on X and other social media outlets, and then Fox 11 News locally, KTLA 5, those are, the local channels. I'm watching it live. I can actually say, I know where that's at. I've been there. I've driven down there. Oh my gosh, that place burned down. Oh my gosh, that place burned down. Like, I know these places. So, like I said, I pray for the safety of everybody. I pray for no more deaths. I hope that we find everybody safe and alive that are missing. And I hope the fires end quickly. My 2 thoughts on this, what I'm about to say, is that Biden came out saying that he is going to make sure that everybody who lost everything in California gets 100% recovery. The tax over the next 6 months, I believe, is going to get everything back. The taxpayers are going to pay for it. That's not so much the issue I have. So if you look at East Palestine in Ohio, when train wrecked and dumped a bunch of hazardous material in Ohio, government came in and said, hey, we'll give you $750 loan. When the Maui fires happened, they came in and said, hey, we'll give you $750 loan. When the hurricane struck, Florida and all the surrounding states and North Carolina, they came in and said, hey, we'll give you $750 loan. Not only that, we have to go inspect your property to see if you even need the $750 loan. And then we'll give you $750 loan to help you recover, even though you lost your house, your home, your prized possessions, your car, all of that, your dog. Here's $750 to help. Now, it's a loan because if you don't pay it back, they take everything. And it's not that they're going to take $750 worth of your stuff to equal the $750. They'll take everything, even if it's more than $750, and it's only a loan. But Biden comes out saying we are going to help recover everything that's lost, that everybody lost in California. And here's my 2 opinions. The reason being is that everybody in the political circle knows that California is the ATM for the Democrats. They come out, they do their galas, their dinners, their $100,000 dinner plates to see so-and-so talk or this person speak or whatever to help raise money. So it's their ATM. So this is their way of making sure they're taken care of because of all these rich donors. Second, Hunter Biden, his son, who he pardoned from any crimes from literally over a decade, his house burned down. 2 of them burnt down in this fire. So this is a way the taxpayers and Biden can take care of his son and make sure he's whole and he has all his stuff recovered. Not happy about it. So if you want to talk about DEI and you want to talk about equality, wouldn't there be equality across the board for Maui, East Palestine, North Carolina, Florida, and all those other states getting the same exact stuff that California is getting, or we offer everybody in California $750 loan, just like they did with everybody else. But because these other states don't give a lot of money to the Democratic Party or any politicians like California does, we're going to make sure they're whole and we're going to hook them up. That's where equality is needed. If you can do it for one, you got to do it for the other. That's equality. And of course, because it's not part of that agenda, equality is out the window. It's more about taking care of these large donors. So there you have it. Please comment below if you are in California, you have a loved one in California, please tell me their stories. Please comment below. I'd love to read them and hear them out, or give a voice to the stories. If you're out there in California, what is your point of view? What are you seeing? What issues have you seen that is not being reported? Or maybe it is reported, but you have a more of an inside view of it. And I just want to hear from you and make sure you guys are all safe and okay. So please comment. Please like, share, and subscribe to this video. Pass it on to other people that could watch this video, use this video. Please be safe. Take care of one another. Be vigilant. I don't know what else to say. Prayers go out to you. Like, I just hope this just ends and stops and we can get back to recovery. Just take care, be vigilant, be safe. Don't wait till the last minute to evacuate. If it's going to happen, just go. Don't wait to be told to evacuate, because that's the biggest problem that they're facing. I know it's probably hard. I can only imagine. But just be safe, and if you can and you need to, evacuate sooner than later. Take care, be safe, take care of one another. And big shout out to all the people that are staying behind to help their neighbors save their houses. I've seen a lot of video of people going out there with garden hoses, and it's not even their house. They're just trying to help stop the fire from taking another house. Those are real heroes. Not saying that the firefighters, because the firefighters are real heroes too. Everybody out there are heroes, National Guard heroes, but these are also heroes, is what I'm saying. So big shout out to them. But take care, be safe, and take care of one another. Carry on.